It's your girl Tiffany, and I am back with another recipe. So, this is one of my own recipes, and you can follow it. It does require Spiker Seafood Butter Sauce Seasoning Packet. So, if you haven't bought yours yet, please go ahead and do so. I just opened up my package of meat, and I'm going to go ahead and put it into a bowl right here, just like you see, just like so. And you got to get your hands dirty, guys. You got to get your hands dirty. But um, I actually just touched it a little bit because I don't really want to get hamburger all over my hands. Let me wipe my hand real quick. Okay. And I'm actually going to put some gloves on because I do not want to get hamburger all over my hands. So, now, a lot of times when I make meatloaf, you will see me put Italian seasoning, breadcrumbs into my meat. However, today I am not going to do that. I'm just going to break this up because I want it to be well seasoned, okay? So I'm going to break this up. Matter of fact, let me pull that off real quick. Sorry, guys. I almost lost you for a minute. Okay. So this is my own little pouch of Spiker seafood sauce that I keep handy for myself. All right. So, oh, wait, let me take this off first. Because I don't want to touch this with. I'm going to put a little bit of this seasoning. Remove that glove. Throughout my hamburger. Okay, and I'm going to show you in just a second just how much that I used so you can see. Okay, and that is the seasoning. And now we're going to just mix it up really, really good in between all of our meat. Okay, as soon as I have this all mixed up, I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so I mixed up my meat, and I'm going to show it to you now. I had to take my glove off. All mixed up, nicely seasoned. And now I'm going to, and I always do mine on a dish first. Don't ask me why. I'm going to go ahead and on a plate, I'm going to go ahead and make my meatloaf. I don't know why. I like to do it on a dish first. Just to go ahead and shape it. For me, I like it to be, flat. So I can shape it, do what I want with it. But I'm actually going to take like maybe half of this and keep it aside because I'm going to be putting cheese inside of this meatloaf. So I'm going to go ahead and keep a little bit on reserve over here. And I'll be right back. All right, so I have the bottom part already shaped up. Take that off. Okay, and now you can use any cheese you want. I like to use sliced cheese, American, because it goes across really nicely. See, when you have the slices, you can just put it across really nicely. All right. So let me just show you this. you're able to overlap these slices just like that. Just like that. And then I put some over top. I double the cheese. Okay. So essentially, I'm using 6 pieces of cheese. All right. That's it for the cheese. Set that aside. Okay, now I'm going to get my handy dandy gloves back on. Okay, because now I'm going to take this other meat that I have. Okay, and I'm going to make a top to it. Okay, so I'm going to pat it down and make it just like on top. And as soon as I'm done, grab these gloves. I'll be right back. Okay, so now that I have patted it all down, this is what it looks like. And if you have some little cheese out, make sure you pinch it if you missed a spot. Like a little spot there. And yeah, so this is what it looks like. And it's ready to go into my pan. I'm putting it into a little pan. So let me pinch those edges and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I just got done pinching it and putting it in here, and this is what you have. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to add a little bit of water into here, and I'm going to put it on in my oven on 350 degrees for about maybe an hour, hour and a half. Depends on your oven. And I'll check back with you and show you as soon as it's done. And don't forget to cover it with foil. Next, I'm going to go ahead and get my freshly washed cucumber. And I'm going to go ahead and peel that, because I'm going to make the meatloaf, and I'm going to make a fresh cucumber salad. Now there's many ways you can make cucumber salad. Some people make it like my grandma used to make it, with onions and tomatoes, which is probably the best way. But sometimes if you don't have tomatoes or onions, you can just cut up a cucumber, put some sour cream in it, and it makes a delicious cucumber salad. Add a little bit of dill to it, and it's perfect. You can make it many ways. You can put oil and vinegar. You can just throw some ranch on cucumbers and have a little cucumber salad. People make it many different ways. You can add what you want to it. You can take away what you don't like. I'm just going to cut this cucumber up because I'm just going to have this cucumber with some vinegar and oil, salt and pepper. And that's going to be the gist of that. Not in the mood for some onions today or tomatoes, and I do have them, but I am not wanting them. So today I'm just going to cut up the cucumber and put some oil, vinegar, salt, and pepper. Very light, very fresh. And like I said, usually when I do my meatloaf, I'll put some Italian seasoning breadcrumbs in it. I did not do that today because I wanted you guys to see how versatile the Spiker Seafood Butter Sauce seasoning packet is. You can pretty much use it on anything you want. Meat, fish, seafood, vegetables, anything you want, and it's so good. So I'm going to show it to you when it's done. I'm going to go ahead and cut up this cucumber. And I'm going to just cut them up in these slices. I always tell my kids, you have to taste test what you're doing. I'm just going to cut these up. And I'm just putting them in a little container that I have. You know, I save all these containers and I wash them out. The potato salad, grandma's potato salad containers. I wash them out so that I can reuse them, like for storage in the refrigerator. Just like the butter containers. I always keep butter containers. When I was growing up, I remember every time I wanted butter and I went into the container, I never found butter. It was always something different but butter. You had to check like every container just to figure out which one was the butter. It was crazy. Especially at Grandma's house. Grandma always had a million butter containers filled with stuff that was just not butter. All right, and so that is nice and full. I'm going to go ahead and put these in the fridge until I'm ready. When it's dinner time, then I will throw it all together. And I will start to cut my potatoes next. Because, let's face it, when you have meatloaf, you have to have mashed potatoes. So I'll be cutting my potatoes to go ahead and boil those and get those on the stove. Get those ready for my mashed potatoes because meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and a nice little cucumber fresh salad on the side is what's for dinner. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so here's my potatoes, and I am not washing them. I peel them first, and then I wash them. Sometimes I use a knife. Sometimes I use my peeler. I feel like using a knife is easier for me. I do very thin peeling. I know some people cut like half the potato when they peel with a knife. That's not me. So I just like to go ahead and do it with a knife. Like I said, for me, it's a lot faster, and I just enjoy cutting the potato with a knife. It's a preference. You can use a peeler if, you know, you're not someone who likes to cut potatoes or veggies or, you know, things like that. And I just checked on our meatloaf here, and it's about halfway done. It's been about 30 minutes. And once they're all peeled like this, then I put them in a bowl after I've peeled them all, and then I wash them off before I cut them up. Okay, stay tuned. All right, guys, so I transferred pans because the other one had a lot of the cheese juice and stuff. So here is what the meatloaf looks like. It just came out. Now that it's all juicy and delicious, now I'm going to go ahead and put some ketchup on top of it, put it back in for about 10 minutes, and go ahead and bake it up because that is how I make my meatloaf when I'm not using breadcrumbs and stuff. This pan's very old, but that's what it looks like. Doesn't it look so juicy and delicious? Look at all that steam. All right, guys, and I'll show you when it comes out. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so here it is, all done. Doesn't that look delicious? I've got my water on for my boiling potatoes. Looks like it's coming to a boil. I'm going to put those in, and then I'll make up my mashed potatoes, and I'll show you when it's plated. Like, comment, and subscribe.